All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today is kind of a interesting day for the markets. Kind of a Everyone's waiting for the same thing, so I don't think there's going to be too much going on. You got Riot up 17%, which is a Bitcoin blockchain type of a company, to a whopping $2.11. That's on our list of pre-market movers today. So, barely a move there. Looks like we're floating up today. Lighter volume. We've seen most days here the rising throughout the evening leads to sell-offs. That's typical in a downtrending market. In an uptrending market, they like to drift it lower so they can buy lower. If the market allows them to do that, then they'll rip roar it higher throughout the day as they buy their fill, and they'll continue that. I think that's why it takes so much time for stocks to get going, is because they always counter move after hours. Not always, but often. Alright, so let's see what else we got going on. We got ADRO up a little bit. MEDP, which is one of our stocks, up 24% today. Wow, why are you up 24%? You're up 62. My goodness. Only 100 shares traded, so I'm not. That's interesting. Civi, whatever that is. Oh, Civitas. Oh, I know what they are. Okay. They do clothing for businesses. I think if it's the same place. Up 12%, 1751. So actually gapping up over this longer term trend. Though, it's kind of been in this base for a couple of years, which is interesting. Hello there, Laurie. Another leg down today. So today's Federal Reserve Day. Today's not a normal day. Today there was an event, kind of like a barbecue at your work. You're like, yeah, okay, let's get this barbecue over with so I can get back to my desk. That's what we're doing today. The problem is, though, I'm not exactly sure we know when they're going to make the announcement. Time of Fed announcement? Oh, okay, 2 p.m. Eastern time today. There we go. So that puts it 11 a.m. my time. I kind of want them just to raise the rates, just to say, screw everybody. Excuse me here. So 2 p.m. today, Eastern Standard Time, is when we will get that decision. 73.2% of investors are expecting the Fed to raise rates by 0.25%. Oh my goodness! And so Fed meetings are interesting. Over the years, I've kind of half-assed paid attention to the Fed. You know, the market, the news, and everyone tells you when the Fed is about to do something super important. You usually know what the options are ahead of time. In this situation, apparently you're looking for the keyword gradual. Gradual has meant they hike interest rates every other FOMC meeting. And if they drop the word gradual, then it could mean that they move it more slowly if they choose. So that's right. There's always wordplay here. And that's kind of one of them. Right now, gradual is the word that we're looking for, because they don't actually come out and state their full policy, what they're going to do. They always want to leave a little bit of mystery. That way only Goldman Sachs knows what's going to happen. But apparently, like I said, we're looking for gradual. So yeah, bunch of criticism from President Trump, and the stock market has been struggling. But yeah, I actually just want them to keep raising. I mean, to be honest with you, It sounds weird, but that's my personal opinion. I want that. We talked a little bit about this yesterday. I want them to keep doing 0.25% every quarter, every other quarter, whatever it may be. Just keep raising rates while the economy's fine. Just keep doing that. Good for me. Then can take all that money and pay down the debt. Kind of like your mom giving you a loan and then taking your interest and giving it to your student loans that you're going to acquire as you become a grown up and get debt. That's what I want. That's what I want our Fed to do for us. Probably won't happen. The banking interest will probably still end up keeping all that money. But oh yeah, did you guys see the Boring Company presentation last night? That was pretty cool. I mean, if you've been paying attention, it's not too much that you haven't heard before, but there's an actual tunnel that he drove through. I actually watched it last night. Happened to catch it. So that's Elon driving through a tunnel into the presentation area. And it's really cool what they've been able to do. And yeah, if they can do this, if they can get, so there's a bunch of cool stuff involved, but I really like this Boring Company thing. They have those small tunnels that fit one car. And he says if they're all autonomous and can talk to each other and the system can control them, then they can do 150 miles an hour underground. And pretty cool. They need to get I don't know, it seems a little too bland. It's like they need to tell a story on the walls or something. It's going to give you vertigo but anyway, it's pretty cool. Go watch it. It's not a super long presentation, but so you jump on there's a little sled in there and then you go through it. Anyway, it's pretty neat. Watch it if you want to. I found it interesting. And they're going to do this little experiment in Chicago actually with those little autonomous sleds between the airport and downtown Chicago, cutting time by 75% apparently, which is pretty cool. So, pretty neat. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. So check that out. I do recommend that. It's a good watch for a minute. Yeah, they did finish the first tunnel. I guess that's the one that he drove in. Man, Elon Musk is doing what every little geeky kid wants to do, and I'm one of those geeky kids. Like everything he's doing is something I'd want to do. Start a car company? Check. Build rocket ships? Check. He chose tunnels over flying cars. I'll just call that a check. Good enough. Good enough. It's cool. He's like, why tunnels over flying cars? He's like, well, first of all, flying cars can fall on your head. Second of all, if it's windy, your flying car's grounded. He's all tunnels, impervious to weather. Infinite. You can dig an infinite number of tunnels. So, pretty cool. Hold on a second, guys. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I was painting yesterday without a respirator, and I guess I got way too close to the paint can because my throat's pretty scratchy today. All right, about 15 minutes away from the open. I'll go through a couple more pre-market movers. Already went through some of them. XES. Spider Series Trust for something that doesn't like what they are. Whatever you are, you don't like what you are, and you're going lower. XES, NCS, JBL, WTI. Ooh. ZIOP, there we go. NAT, WGO, Winnebago, look at that. Look at the weekly from 60 down to 20. Some really good buys coming up on some individual names. That's the last one on our pre-market movers. Nothing's really enticing. Micron down to 8% at 2 million shares traded. Little enticing. Looks like they're trading 46 million average daily, but still 2 million after hours is a little enticing. Down about 8%. FedEx is down 7%. Oh, something that we haven't looked at in a while, the transportation index. Speaking of FedEx, there's your transportation index. Actually, we closed lower than a prior low 3 days ago. So on this day, we were lower before this actually broke lower. Little bear flag here. So the transports do tend to lead, and you know I shouldn't forget about these guys. I'm going to put them on my list. There we go. Thoughts on crypto at the moment? Yeah, well, we're kind of in the midst of a little bounce. So yeah, I mean, so far good stuff. I mean, nothing bad. Everything. Bitcoin Cash up 18%. Bitcoin up 5%. I mean, doing healthy things. Has some decent volume. See the volume aggregation tools very green. Selling still not elevated in Bitcoin. You got Tron, which was looking good for a while. We noted the strength in Tron. That finally, apparently, Tron's day is. Well, I guess it's kind of slowly been moving up about 20-30%. Haven't seen a bounce overall in the market, so I think it's healthy to have this bounce here today in the past couple days, I guess, yesterday and today. EOS taking a bit of a breather, but just slowly ratcheting higher. Looks like it's in a fairly well-defined channel. So I think a nice little rally here. Looks like BSV finally got going a little bit through that trend line. Yeah, nothing bad. Ethereum slowly kind of making moves, but 22% up at this point from the actual breakout point right there. If you're with me, are you with me in the Real Crypto Power Hour? We actually talk about bottom buys down here. I didn't necessarily call for a buy down here, but we did discuss extensively about actually buying at the bottom. But I didn't make a call to buy it, but that was that area right there after what happened here, and Ethereum gave better signals than most. You had a bottom here, another high volume bottom here. This is what you like to see at a bottoming, then a retest on low volume, and then it rocketed higher. So out of these lows, there's some guys that bought these lows that are up really good percentages. I don't think too many bought EOS down at that level, which would have been right there. They'd be up 50% right now. Litecoin broke out first, and we didn't really discuss. Actually, we discussed Litecoin the next day. Only up 36%. Interesting. But can I get the volume aggregation tool somewhere? That's available to Power Hour subscribers, Laurie. At this point in time, that's a proprietary script that I wrote that basically takes buying and selling in volume, and there's a little bit of a formula in there. And then it kind of graphs it. It's a pretty useful tool. I got a couple people using it in a couple different ways. I started using it on the stock market a little bit. Let's do that real quick. Where is it? Apple, DAX, Nifty. Come on. Oh yeah. See, yeah, Nasdaq I don't get. Okay, let's just add the Qs on here. There we go. There we go. Okay. So I'll put the Qs on here because the Qs have some volume. So let's go to we can stay on the 2 hours. So what's the volume aggregation tool tell us here? Well, so here's the high. Here's where we started breaking down. You see the red. And then we have noticed some decent buying. And there's some buying right there. Looks like it dropped off, though, right there. Get rid of that. There we go. And we've had some bursts of green, but then the red really took over again right there at that high. We just started having a lot more red than green. The green started drying up. Um, and then now we're flat in the buys, and the sells have actually looks like they declined a little bit. And you can see it on the daily too. The daily, the volume has been declining, still continually declining in here. So I'm not extraordinarily bearish, but the market definitely has bearish tendencies. But this lower volume here indicates that we don't necessarily just drop into the dirt. We're not aggressively selling this. We're getting less aggressive as we're going lower. Luckily, doesn't mean that we're healthy by any stretch either, but it could be a situation where we're so you know, you can look at it like right here, right? Like we had a big downtrend, popped up, came back lower, had a spike lower, but you see the volume was declining the entire time till eventually it meanders out of it. So you either hold through that chop or you sell and wait for another follow through day. I think this was our follow through day. Actually, I'm wrong about that. Well, these are the Qs, so it's a different chart. I think that was the follow through day, actually. Another follow through day. And we can probably go back in history, and so this is the 2015. Yeah, this is that 2015 kind of sideways market that we had, and you can see we had high volumes and kind of a double top in terms of volume, but a double bottom in terms of price. And then that would have been, I think that's a good follow through day right there. There maybe one earlier, right there, if I'm not mistaken. But and I don't know if the VA tool in the stock market gives you a whole lot of edge here, but you could see right there the selling abated, and the buying was actually slowly kind of increasing throughout this area. So I guess the VA tool does give you, I mean, so you can see it like up here, we obviously fell, but the buying continued. So that's pretty interesting. Let's go see what it looks like today. What's it look like today? Well, we don't quite have that. The selling looks like it's increasing a little bit here. Not even looking at price. The selling looks like it's increasing as well, and the buying looks like it's dropped off a little bit. So not anywhere near a clear signal in either direction, but the impetus right here is to neutral to the downside, I would say. I did want to look at something else. Okay, so I'm assuming that's 2008, which it is. I want to see how this VA tool acted at the bottom, if there was any kind of... So the one thing with the VA tool that, because it's something I developed and I don't know exactly the best ways to use it. We can change the aggregation period. Right now it's defaulted to 20, so I can shift it to like, I don't know, 200 or 50 or something like that, and see how that changes. Like 200, I think, would be like a longer term, obviously, right? 200 would be like a longer term aggregation period, but I haven't really seen. Yeah, so that's interesting. You have, oh, I know why too, because the high volumes are messing with the tool right there. Okay, so yeah, 200 probably not a good thing. So we got market opening in about 6 minutes. Let's go to 50, which is kind of an intermediate term in line with like the 50-day moving average. So we see right, okay, so we have very elevated volumes, and our volume spikes right there, right at the bottom. The volume aggregation tool spikes right there based on the 50-day. And that's the end. It's hard to know that that's the spike in the middle of it, but then you kind of have a secondary, a lower high. And then by here, everything starts to drop off. That probably means that either selling is abated or... Yeah, I guess that means the selling is finally abated, but you could have almost thought that back here. Oh, that's the whole drop. Yeah, see, that's weird. So I don't know how well this works in the Qs in the stock market. This was all green throughout this area. Very strange. Yeah. Doesn't give me much edge, it looks like. Probably only good for smaller term and for breakout situations. So some people use this to kind of spot breakouts as they start to occur. And I've seen that work pretty good too. But I think it needs some further massaging to work on the daily on stuff like the stock market. But you can see right now on the 50-day, you've got green all the way up to here. Let me bring that back into the mix there. So we've got green coming up here, and then the red overtakes the green there. Then the red stays elevated. Then the green takes over. And the red flips here. And that's when we really start to sell. And so far, we have peak selling here, it looks like. And that may just have to do with the fact that it's a 50-day average. Because at 50-day, you're going to get this high volume drop off, which I don't think is necessarily exactly what it's used for. Anyway, needs some massaging. Good. It's good for lower term time frames, though. I do definitely believe that. So you can see on the 2 hour there, we're still elevated selling pressure, buying pressure is declining, but that's just general. If we have like a really good Fed announcement, then it probably could just, move in either direction. Yeah, I was kind of shocked as well that no one came up with something like that. I went through TradingView the other day because I'm actually thinking about putting it on TradingView and actually selling it because I've written two tools, Barzar and Volume Aggregation Tool, and people seem to really like the Volume Aggregation Tool. I'm like, oh, maybe I can sell it and make a couple bucks, and it'd be a useful tool for people. But there's at least a couple traders that speak that use it often. So it's a pretty neat tool, and it makes sense, kind of aggregating buys and sells. I think, at least. I'm a momentum trader. I like to look at price action, stuff like that. Getting some drops in the pre-market hours here. A little bit of dropping right there. So, yeah, it's a pretty cool tool. Again, today's Fed day. Nothing else matters, to be quite honest with you, other than the Fed. And to be honest with you as well, again, kind of have a thought that maybe the Fed doesn't matter that much, and they're going to use this as a sell signal if there's good news. I'm not sure if we're 50-50 China, 50-50 Fed in terms of what's giving the market nightmares right now. China Fed, that's what everyone's talking about. Well, what if it's 75% China, 25% Fed? If it's 75% China, we're not going to have a resolution to that for quite some time. And if the Fed has a good announcement, it could really not mean much to the markets if they don't get, like, we're just going to decrease rates by a quarter so you guys don't crap your pants. If we don't get that, maybe we just tank the market. Yeah, but I don't know. Either way, I kind of want them to raise rates, and as we have good economic numbers, that's their mantra. That's kind of what they're supposed to be doing, and I don't know. I don't view that as a bad thing. It's funny. We were talking yesterday, and then I don't know if you guys seen Magic Poop Cannon, who's kind of a funny guy. He posted something very similar. He's like, we're screwed if we're at 2.25% interest rates and they're scared about a 0.25% rate increase. I'm like, hey, I just said that earlier in the day. So I thought that was pretty funny. Him and I would get along great. We have very similar situations on a multitude of topics. And there we got the market open. All right, so MU down 7%. We've already seen that. Market crapping. Stocks not doing too bad, though. Tilray up another 6% today. That's interesting. I don't know why that didn't make the market mover list. Looks like it broke a little bit. Here yesterday looks like it had an interesting day. Broke that trend right there. That little mini trend. Volume was a little elevated too. Today looks like gapping up a little bit. Again, not much matters today. I wouldn't be trading too much. And Lori, I really wouldn't be stressing too much until 9 p.m. tonight. I don't know about sweating bullets. I just think it's going to be what it's going to be. There's not much you can do about it. You can set your stop loss and get out if you want to do that, and then you can stay up till 9 p.m. That's not too bad. But don't sweat bullets. Come back at 8:30, 8:45, and see what's what. Pretty much, I wouldn't go about it. I won't stress it too much. Tesla's had an interesting buying opportunity for longer-term holders again. I'm not viewing Tesla from a trading perspective. I can chart a little drop in the market as such, but I view Tesla as kind of a longer-term investment, as the company does really well and continues to have rampant success. I view this as definitely a longer-term investment. So go Tesla. Q's a little bit of reversal, coming back to flat, almost flat. Only 1 minute into the open, not much to read into that. But you can see here on the daily chart, on the Qs, we haven't rocked lower like yesterday. Look at the difference between yesterday's close and today's open. We did not go lower at all. So you can see the double bottom right there, as a matter of fact. So reversed right higher. So I almost think the impetus now is chop, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see about that with the Fed decision today. But yeah, not much matters till the Fed. Looks like getting a little bit of a rally here. So there's a couple days ago. Big whipsaw a couple days ago. INS with a big day yesterday. Wow, look at that. Closed all the way back up at the top on elevated volume. And then today a little bit of follow through. So maybe the market's going to maybe the market's going to pause today, and then they're going to rally all these stocks through as the Fed pauses interest rates, and the Fed's are like, damn, we got gamed. Because the problem is those people aren't traders, and I could see some really big trading going along here, trying to FUD the Fed out. That'd be funny. So Twitter's up a little bit today. Had an interesting day past couple of days. Looks like it pulled back deep into the base. Volume wasn't very heavy though. A little heavier a couple of days ago. Well, why did my volume? Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah, and a little bit elevated a couple of days ago, but not too much. Cron looking okay. Yeah, Cron's not doing too bad. Came back, filled the gap. We'll kind of see what happens. See what happens after that. But yeah, it could rally. Kind of a little bit of a resistance area. If we can get elevated there, that would be good. You can see the chop here on the small term 5-minute chart of the Qs right there. Rallied higher. Already dropped a little a little bit lower. And back a little bit higher. Yeah, not too much red on my screen here so far. Micron's down about 8%, but that's it for whatever reason. Price target cut. Yeah, you can see the chop yesterday. I mean, the chop yesterday was pretty abnormal. Man, nobody wants to watch today. Got 0 people watching right now. Lori left too. Oh, you're still there? YouTube's lying to me. Yeah, usually got about 10 people watching. No one wants to watch today. Man, they're already bored and they already left. I don't know. Like I said, usually about 10 people here, and guess they don't want to. Guess they want to hear me talk a bunch of crap today. Maybe I cursed too many times yesterday. But you can see the chop yesterday. Very, very choppy market. Look at that. I mean, chop. They undercut lower, faking people out. Brought it higher, faking people in. Then lower again, and the volume starts to get elevated on the downside. Then they bring it higher again. So yesterday was a very choppy day. Very, very choppy day, and then, we'll see what happens today. I agree, Laurie. I agree. So, see, here's the thing. I think people don't take as much interest in the stock market as they do in crypto, mainly because it's harder to day trade. That's my opinion. It also mainly because of the day trading requirement, which is a $25,000 account. I think a lot of people in crypto don't have $25,000 accounts, so it's easier to trade. Also, they view the fees as, I think, more expensive, and it's older, and I don't know, but yeah, my crypto channel is vastly more successful than my stock channel. Granted, I don't do near the same stuff in stocks as I do in crypto, but I actually thought about doing a stocks channel years ago. Went around YouTube and saw that most of the stock channels that I could find only had like 5,000 subscribers. I'm like, how can you sustain a channel with 5,000 subscribers? That's like not even a thing. Because if you got 5,000 subscribers, your average video is probably getting, 500 views. I'm like, you can't make any money at all that way. Anyway, I decided not to do it. Then crypto came along, and talked to my buddy Node Investor, and he said he was, Node Investor lives a mile and a half from me. I've known him for like 6 years, and he said he's back in crypto and started a little YouTube channel. I'm like, oh, and he's like, yeah, it's doing pretty good. I'm like, oh, maybe I should do a YouTube channel, and then I started doing it. So, yeah, see, I'm not a marketer. I'm kind of a trader, which is why I think my channels aren't more popular. And the guys that stick around, usually my views on my videos are pretty stuck at about 2,000 to 2,500 views on my videos. And I've seen other channels with more subscribers than me have videos in the hundreds of views, multiple videos in the hundreds of views, indicating that their fan base, not necessarily fan base, but their base doesn't respect their analysis as much as I think. They're not as consistent as I am, I think is what it is. And the people that recognize that stick around, which is I think why I get more views. And there's guys that get many more views than I do that are probably not quite, at least what I view as good, but they're more consistent in their publications than I am. Anyway, I'm trying to psychoanalyze my channel and my stocks thing, but since no one's watching... But yeah, I wish I was a better content creator. So moving up here a little bit. Again, we got a long time, about 11 o'clock. What's up, Brian? No, I'm in Phoenix. I'm in North Phoenix, near the I-17 and the 101 area-ish. Yeah, and it can be done. It can be done. It's difficult though, and you have to have a super well-defined strategy, and just be one of those people that just does that every day, day in and day out. But it's so I don't know. See, the way that I talk and the way that I like to go about my business, I guess, is I try to keep things a little bit agnostic. Because everybody trades slightly differently, and I'll be, I'm always honest with you guys. I don't always abide by my strategy 100%, so that's why I don't share a ton of my trades. But even if I were, there's people that would mishandle it. Everybody trades differently, so I try to give sound trading rules, things of that nature. I really try to keep it pretty generic that you could apply it to multiple different trading strategies. That's kind of what I try to do. So, but yeah, there's those guys that say, oh, you do this, you do this, you do this, but they're omitting half their process. I guarantee you. You can't teach what you've learned over the past X years in a couple of live streams. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I've seen a lot of things out there that are just like the Crypto University guy. Just bugs me. I don't know. He just bothers me. I don't know why. He just bothers me. And yeah, I think he's got some rather expensive courses as well, I think. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I'm not a major content guy. I've got a lot of courses on my site, because I'd like to put courses out as well. The problem with me, I'll give you guys a little bit of insight if you guys haven't seen already. I've shown them a couple of times, but the problem with me is that, like I said, I like to do things very generic, but which leads to extensive courses. So I've got like different courses: new investors, markets to trade, money management, trading psychology, charting 101, charting 202, volume indicators, trading strategies, because again, I'm kind of agnostic, cryptos versus stocks, and trading for a living. Like in trading strategies, like I talk about lots of different strategies, and I think this is important, like risk tolerance, selective or opportunistic, news and rumors, short-term time frames, longer-term investments, mixing time frames, because different people are going to have different strategies, and maybe it's not specific enough. One of my problems. So buying on strength, buying on weakness, rules for buying ranges. There's all kinds of general rules these are good launching points. Selling on strength, selling on weakness, how to do volume, market cycles, time frames. Those are your selling strategies, like different ways to sell. Because some people, and then trading, journaling, why it's important, how to journal often and reflect, adjusting your strategy as you reflect, understanding who you are, and are you fighting your strategy? Because I do this. This is one of my weaknesses right here. Example strategies. So, and then I give you some examples. So, I mean, it's a lot. This is a lot of information, and there's actually over 220 like actual courses like these in my courses. Little topics. They go to money management, stop losses, normal losses, max stop drawdown, securing profits, trailing stops, trend line breaks, moving averages, percentage gains, selling signals. It just goes on and on. And so I do this brain dump, and it just leads to me never finishing these courses. So like another situation is that a lot of it is text, and I guess people don't like that. So I need to, and this also doesn't look great, I need to put a lot more work into these, but I got about 2 months of work into my courses. It would take a lot more to get viable. I don't even know what I would charge for them. Like I said, I'm not a marketer, so it's difficult. But like trading for a living is always interesting because people always ask if they can trade for a living. And there's a lot of stuff like, are you ready? What's your personality type? Skill versus luck. Personal finance is huge. And can you quit your job? Because a lot of people want to quit and trade, but it's psychologically it's very difficult to do that. And that's something, psychology is kind of built into these. I don't call it psychology, but then there's strategies. And, are you really a robot? Professionalism and doing your job. Anyway, these aren't public by any stretch of the imagination. These are all hidden away. But it's one of those things where I'd like to put the courses out too, but it'd be a little more generic. A lot of people do one, I know Crown's courses. I don't have them, but from what I've heard, it's like one strategy, I think, and some general guidelines. Anywho, enough about all that stuff. Today's Fed Day, guys. Kind of a boring day today. I think I'm going to go a little bit early. I don't know how many people are watching. It says 0, but there's at least 2 people here, so I'm not sure who's watching out there, but. Oh, Eli's out there. What's up, Eli? Lily's up 2.85% today. Is that a gap up? Oh, wow. It gapped up pretty big and then sold off. Look at that. Wow. That's interesting. It's okay. Well, Twitter's telling me that nobody, or YouTube's telling me nobody's watching. Let me refresh my screen, see if it'll fix that. Yeah, at one point, like 20 minutes ago, it says it went from 1 to 0 people. I'm like, oh, I'm just sitting here talking to myself now. So I don't know what's going on. I have no beat on what's happening. No, all good, buddy. How you doing? How's your job going? How's your new job going with your blockchain thingamajig? It's not a hedge fund. It's kind of like an investment firm or something. Nice, Eli. Man, look at you. Great job. Student becomes a teacher. There you go. You swinging your LLY put there? Yeah, Twitter's up 2%, doing pretty good. Tesla back up 1%. You're learning good stuff though? You a blockchain expert? You gonna put real crypto on the blockchain? Yeah, on credit. Yeah, I thought so. That's what I thought so when I looked at that site. That's cool. Oh, Micron's come back quite significantly. And came back. Gotcha. Yeah, I think right now I'm just waiting for waiting for the Fed, waiting for better setups, some more clear direction. I'm just patient at this time. Maybe the Fed will give us the market direction. It's hard to say, but there's a good chance the Fed could also just be Fed could be a non-event, and then maybe we roll right back over after the Fed announcement today, which, by the way, happens at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. If you didn't know that, Eli, if you want to be live for that, get here at about 1:45 Eastern Time. It's about 10:45 my time, so right after the live stream, the Crypto Power Hour. What was I looking at yesterday that looked like a good bottom buy? I wonder what that's doing this morning. Which one was that? Oh, Nettie's is up 3.45% today. Let's see what Nettie's is doing. Look at that. If that's there's a little trend line. It looks like it kind of respected that trend line. That's good in Nettie's. Excuse me. It was Twitter. Darn it. Which one was it? We were talking a little bit about it yesterday. CHGG is a new one. I'm trying to get to it. This is a new stock. IBD pointed this out the other day. And not looking too bad up here, as a matter of fact. Not looking too bad up here. Nice, Eli. Darn it. I agree, Eli. I absolutely agree. Yeah, unless they make it, I think, unless they make it an integral part of their system, in which case they're still forcing a token. You don't have to have the token, but it's a way to pay miners and stuff. So hold on a second, family's leaving. All right, I'm back. Yeah, rising on low volume this morning. Could elevate if we have decent Fed decisions, but yeah, definitely lower volume. You see right there, everybody's waiting the Fed. Everyone's already got their positions they want. Laura's talking about learning new projects in crypto. Yeah, I don't know if you need to learn the new projects in crypto. I think most of them, one you should look into is, yeah, Eli, find out for us why Waves is running in mass. I mean, obviously you don't have to, but that's really the one that I'm like, why is this thing running so crazily? I mean, this thing is up. We first called this in the newsletter. I'm on the 15, that's why. Way down here, we noticed the curl way down here in Waves. Didn't know.
This is where the island it got up last before the first island. It's where Oceanhorn is.
Oh my goodness. Just fish, okay?
I'm not killing Oceanhorn, he's hard. Last time we watched a video
He's so excited.
Oceanhorn.
Yeah?
Yeah, and it was so cool.
Close the door.
I can't believe it got here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Go fish. He's so excited. They play this game called Oceanhorn. They passed a big level, apparently, right when I walked away a little bit ago. But yeah, Waves is actually number 19 on CoinMarketCap right now. At least it was yesterday. We'll see what it is today. Yeah, number 19. Look at that, right next to Neo. Look at that. Waves has been rising as Neo's been falling. So I think Waves is pretty popular in Korea, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, Waves is on its way up, man. I'm telling you. For whatever reason. Look at that, 44%. It's just been up. It's been up just huge numbers. All right, guys, I'm going to bounce. I'm going to get out of here. Waiting for the Fed decision. Maybe I'll jump back live at that point. I'm not sure. We'll see how the Crypto Power Hour and how my son treats me today. If he's going to be bullying me or not, as he always tends to do because he's 4. So nice little rally today so far. Like I said, low volume, but we'll see what happens. Hasn't really sold off so far. All bullish candles, each and every one of them. So someone's positioning themselves this morning. Either, I don't know if they're exactly what they're doing, but all right, guys, I'm out of here. Like I said, maybe I'll be back before the Fed announcement. We'll kind of watch and see what happens and check out the market action. Don't get too aggressive though before the Fed, unless they know something we don't. But I would think the volume would be a little bit more prevalent. All right, guys, peace out. See you guys maybe later. Can't guarantee that I'll be here. If not, then I'll see you tomorrow. All right, have a good day.